3, 2, 1. What up, y'all?
What up, peeps?
What up?
Welcome back to the Let's Make Out podcast, where we make out all things what?
Love, life, and laughter, of course.
That is right. And
you see, we're in our bedroom. You see, we're in our normal bedroom.
Do you see our background?
You see this? We got a new mural behind us.
Oh my goodness. So, you guys, we are so excited to be working with Sunscape, Puerto Vallarta Resort and Spa, because they have brought us here so that we can do our podcast in paradise.
And it's paradise.
Shout out to them. It is amazing. If you can't see, just take a look, okay? Just imagine yourself like, just close your eyes,
look at you,
and imagine yourself here with us, okay?
Yes, it's awesome.
Man, so we've been kind of hanging out here for the past few days, just kind of enjoying the property and, you know, just checking it out. So we've been to Mexico before multiple times, but this is our first time in Puerto Vallarta.
Exactly. So we didn't know what to expect. We didn't really know didn't do any research other than what we had seen about the resort. So we were excited about the resort, but then get here and it's like you feel like you're a part of like just the culture.
You do.
And then you come here, you're on the resort, and then you're back in the it's so cool.
You can see the cityscape, like, which is what I really like. Because you know, sometimes when you go to these resorts, it's like off in the cut and you're just like on the resort, but you can literally see the locals down at the beach.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. And the mountains. That gives it a different feel.
The mountains are already for me. Like, I always tell people, like, well, Gabriel at least, that's the people I tell. I love mountains. Like, I was stationed in Arizona and mountains were like always my thing. I loved them. And so getting the ocean and mountains.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean, like, that's the best thing. Like, I literally don't feel like I'm in Mexico. I feel like I'm somewhere else.
Exactly.
So,
it's pretty amazing.
It's awesome. So we've kind of just wanted to have a conversation about travel. You guys know that we travel quite a bit together, just the two of us, but also like with the family. So we got a couple of questions in our Q&A about travel. So we thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of just focus on those questions, kind of, you know, see what we can do. And then we've got some tips for you as well.
Absolutely. But before we do that, though, come on. She always trying to skip.
The new background is throwing me off.
It's throwing her off. We're going to see if we can dance without falling out of our chairs here. Okay, y'all ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yes. All right, here we go. So we back.
So let's get into this first question. How do you plan for your vacations? Do you all set a timeline, or do you do it yourself or use a service? Would you say more of your vacations are sponsored by brands, so there's not much planning to do? Okay, so there was a lot of questions in that. So the first one is, how do we plan our vacations? I do.
That one.
I'm the planner of the group here.
All right, next question. Yes, Gabrielle, she plans.
We typically talk about like where we want to go. Obviously, like that's a collective.
I love the sweat that's perspiring.
Listen, do you have to point out my sweat though?
Because I can't stop looking.
Listen, I feel like Whitney up in here. Okay, like geez Louise, and I got my towel. So, I mean, the sun is literally beaming on us right now.
She looks great.
You threw me off. What was I saying?
That you plan and typically
we typically like we come up with
where like ideas of where we want to go.
Yeah.
But she's the travel coordinator. So she hooks up all the travel.
So we don't use a service.
No.
When we are traveling for personal, let me make that disclaimer, because we do a lot of sponsored travel, yes. And typically that is planned for us.
Yeah.
They will give us like flight options and we can choose those. They will plan out the itinerary. It just really depends on what the scope is, like what we're doing once we get there.
What the point of the trip is. Like, for instance, this one, so the homie Bob, we've talked about Bob before, he's awesome. So we've done a lot of trips with him. Yeah. And so his team arranged everything. And like had like an itinerary that he worked together with some other awesome people. And so that was really easy for us because we just kind of show up at the airport and we're here and everything is kind of laid out for us.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what a sponsor trip would be, which this one is. So
I would say if we had to put a percentage on personal travel versus sponsored travel, like what would you?
This year it's been like 75 business or
it's been a heavy travel
25
year.
personal.
Yeah,
I would say.
But I would say typically we're between 60 to 70% work versus personal.
Yeah, so we're still leaning towards the work trip, which is so crazy because we're like, man, maybe we are travel influencers.
I know,
too.
like I feel like we were just lifestyle for so long, and then at some point we became the travel family. Like, and I'm okay with it. It's great. Like the kids get to see all new things, which we'll get into that in just a second. Yeah. But yeah, so I typically plan everything when it's personal. I'm looking up the flights. I'm looking up what the activities are that we can do. I kind of know, what everybody kind of likes to do in the family. So we've never used. I don't think we've ever really used a travel agent aside from like our honeymoon.
I feel like the honeymoon we did, and then
that was maybe it.
I think that's the only time we ever, actually.
Nothing against them. I just really like planning travel. Like I like to do the research. It is fun for me.
Did you say you like to plan travel? I'm sorry. It was a tickle in my throat. It just kind of tickled right here.
I do. I think I like to plan travel. You don't think I like to plan travel?
Dang, it keeps the tickle right here. Then what is up with this girl?
What you about to say?
She be getting attitude.
I do be getting an attitude about it.
She's like, I love planning travel. Would y'all tell me what we're gonna do? Like,
well, because sometimes it's overwhelming. Like, let's keep it real. It's nice to have somebody come in and help. You know what I like? I like booking things.
She does.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. I like booking things.
So yeah, she's the travel booker. She likes us to be the travel coordinators together. But no, she does a great job. I mean, it's without her, our trips we'd be driving to.
And we ain't driving nowhere. I'm not doing it. Nope.
Somewhere random.
Nope.
Like, look at it, woods. Like, so.
Not look at it, woods.
Look at it, woods.
So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Oh, you said, do you set a timeline? Or I'm thinking your question is like the timeline, like once we get there, do we have like a set itinerary? Now, here's the thing. I will say, because when we travel with brands, there is no, like most times it's back to back to back.
Yeah.
So when we travel for personal, we don't plan as much because we kind of like to have maybe 2 or 3 things that we want to do.
Exactly.
And then the rest is kind of a free for all.
Yeah, because when we go on branded trips, yes, it's always relaxing and we have an amazing time, but we also still are making sure that
it's not always relaxing. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, we're always, because we're trying to capture great content.
Yeah.
The goal is to capture great content, to be able to really do justice to the resort or to the destination that we're at. And so that takes some, you can't just do that in a lazy way. So you're planning, you're like, okay, if we shoot this, we shoot that, let's take these pictures. And then you're either editing or trying to post something too. So yeah, it's not as relaxing now. It can be. Now I would say this trip has been pretty relaxing.
It has.
In the fact that we've had a good balance of where we can create content, but then go enjoy the area, and then maybe edit later or something like that. So it hasn't been so heavy where we're like, oh man, all we gotta do is edit.
Right.
Gabrielle's been able to, because Gabriel
I've been doing better this trip, I think, because so here's the thing, y'all know I love stories, right? And I don't like to be behind on my stories. I typically like to post in real time, but I've been trying these last couple of trips we've taken to post not in real time, like a couple of days later.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of stressing me out because in my mind, I'm still thinking, oh, there's content I need to edit and get out. Like when it's in the moment, I can just do it and not think about it.
Yeah, so
But post, I feel like it has to be edited more, or it takes away the freedom of just posting a story when I do it after the fact. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing it this way, but I'm toying around with it.
So if she doesn't post, if she doesn't post a story that she shoots.
Oh, they got music. That's not gonna work.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Well, they got in trouble apparently. So Gabriel's the type that if she does a story and she doesn't post it within 5 minutes before she filmed it,
it's a situation.
She has to go back to the future and post it before she films it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
anyway, so hopefully that answers your question. We're gonna get into the topic topic, which is the importance of traveling with family, because I think that we have done it so much now that we can kind of speak to the benefits of traveling with our family. And we kind of did a little research and came up with some bullet points. So do you want to start with the first one?
Yeah, let's start with the first one.
Okay.
Let me get over here to it.
I forgot I got this big old iPad with my talking points and I'm holding my phone.
All right, here we go. All right, so yes, for us, traveling with the family is just amazing, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So the first one we said, the reason this first tip was, or the importance was quality time. Like, you just think about the summer goes so quick, and the kids are about to go back to school. And then, really, like, you think about the time as they go to school, they come home, you've got a few hours, and then they got to go to bed, do it all over again. And then the weekends.
Time goes quick, period.
And then the weekends with activities, whether it's Reagan's cheer or Chad's basketball. Or whatever they decide they want to do outside of that, too, or play with their friends. It just, the quality time kind of deteriorates. Or it's not as easy to get sometimes. So when we go on these trips,
we get this like uninterrupted time together.
Where they want to, like, I love it. We get in the pool.
It's a love-hate situation.
It's a love-hate. We get in the pool and our kids instantly feel like they can swim. But for some reason, we are flotation devices. I'm not really sure how that happened.
Because they have to hang on us.
They hang on. They literally just like, even Chad Jr., he almost 12 years old. And he just be like wrapped up on us. I'm like, are you good, buddy?
But it's so cute because even like if we went to the pool at the house, they have their friends. So they're not really checking for us at the pool.
If I try to give him a hug in the pool, it'd be like, calm down,
it's really cool. Like we get this opportunity together to just check out and enjoy like wherever we are and do all of the things. So I feel like quality time, getting pure, uninterrupted quality time is like the number one reason why you should travel with your family. Because the time is going to pass either way and you can't get this time back. So it's like you might as well take advantage of it.
Don't take it for granted. Any trip that you can take with your kids. But like you should just come here. Like seriously.
What I will say about this place is that it is really family friendly. Sometimes you go to resorts and it's like people are looking because you got your kids and they're not really here for it. It's like, first of all, go to an all adult place if that's the case. But there are so many families here and I love that because the kids, they can meet friends. Like Reagan, she went to the kids club yesterday. First of all, she didn't even come to dinner with us. She was at the kids club all day.
The Explorers Club?
The Explorers Club. That's what it's called. And she met a friend, a couple of them, and she has been asking me this morning when she can go back. I'm like, girl, as soon as we're done, I will take you there.
And I love it because literally they have a whole, literally, whatever, that word is tough. They have so many activities.
All day.
All day. So she came back to the room and she was
done,
conked out. Ready to go to bed. And so it's great because she's like, just some of the stuff about being in a different country is like she's able to learn about the culture. She's meeting kids from the local culture or other places. So then she's learning activities that we might not do in the US or might not have experienced. It's
been really cool. Which brings us to the next point. It's like educational opportunities. So they can learn about the new culture, the cultures and the histories of where we are. Like yesterday, we also did a kayaking tour as a family. And that was really cool because the tour guide was able to tell us history of Puerto Vallarta. Like things that we wouldn't have known. The kids were able to hear it. Like they were into it too. Now Reagan, it was a struggle to get her on there because she did not want to go.
But I found this little clam shell and it was like it looked like a pearl inside.
Oh, you found the clam shell.
Yeah, and I found one for Chad Jr. too. So that's another cool thing. Your kids like finding shells on the beach. You're going to find some beautiful shells. And so I told her to hang on to it for that was her courage shell. And she got on there and she said, this was the coolest thing ever. I want to do it again.
Dripping sweat. Carry on.
Okay.
Don't worry about me.
Drip, sweat. Can't finish that song, y'all.
Please don't. Please don't. But it was really cool. So they were able to learn and they had a good time. There's
definitely awesome.
Quality time. There's the educational opportunities. What's another thing?
So the other thing we put in here was building resilience. So the reason we use that when you're like, what? Builders? So with travel, your kids then learn how to get up early for the airport, pack their own bags so they can have their snacks and their iPads and their headphones, things that they need for the airplane. Adjust to if
travel delays,
which we know that those happen quite a bit. So that was really cool, like for us to be able to say, like, we know that if we got a flight tomorrow that popped up, our kids would be ready to go. They wouldn't cry on the plane. Like bumps, turbulence doesn't really affect them because they're into their. I mean, there's been times where we've flown a 2.5, 3 hour flight. Reagan said, "Are we about to take off?" I'm like, "Yeah, babe, we're about to take off." And then she'll like, "Are we landing?" I'm like, "Sweetie, we landed. We're back on the ground now."
Because she'll be so into
because
her.
It doesn't even affect them no more. So that's great because I've seen kids that are like really scared.
Well, when it's something that you don't do very often,
and rightfully
it can
so.
be scary.
It can be very scary. But turbulence on a plane can be very scary for a kid. For adults, heck.
Yeah, so I think that our kids are very well traveled. They can adapt well. I could drop them off at the airport and tell them they have a flight to catch, and they could probably make it there because they've done it so many
times. No, because then Chad Jr. would be like, "So I get that cell phone now?" He can't keep his watch charged. He wants a cell phone.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, whole nother conversation. But real quick, look, I want to again remind you in case you just say you are,
you didn't just come on. You've been here since
you've been here beginning. But just in case, make sure you subscribe. Thumbs it up. Thank you. But also, we want to remind you why we're here in this beautiful day and where we're at.
Yeah.
So we're actually at the Sunscape.
Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta is tough for me.
Puerto Vallarta.
See, she can do the roll.
Puerto Vallarta.
Resort and Spa. I'll do that part. Sunscape.
Puerto Vallarta.
Resort and Spa.
Yeah.
See, that's teamwork. This place is great.
It's beautiful.
So.
And we're coming back.
We're definitely
sometimes
coming
you go
back.
Places and you're like, oh, that was cool, but I'm not going back. I'm definitely coming back.
But so if you're looking for a place to take a vacation, whether it's just you and the spouse, or with the family, or with extended family, check out this resort. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed
at all.
It's beautiful, and they're making improvements as well. We talked to the general manager. He said that they're working on some other improvements,
some cool things that
we haven't even seen yet. So we're excited to come back so we can see those. So that's why we're here.
That is why we're here. So the next one is strengthening relationships, which I feel like kind of goes with the quality time, creating lasting memories. I think that this goes without saying, but just think of all the things that you can do together that will stay with you for years to come. Like even last night at dinner, we were talking about previous trips that we had. Like Chad Jr.'s like, "Oh, you remember when we did this? Or you remember when we did that?" It's like,
and he also, what did he say about this trip?
That this was like his favorite.
Yeah,
he
like,
loves it here.
He's like a whole new boy. Like he's
doing all of the things.
He got braids.
He did. Both of our kids got braids,
which is the cutest thing. He looks so amazing. So he got braids, and he ate a whole salad last night.
The entire thing.
Which was at this
never happened before.
Never happened. We did this really cool experience at La Petite Chef.
La Petite Chef.
I said it right?
Yes, you did.
And the coolest experience. Maybe there's like a YouTube video that good old Bob sent me. Maybe I'll link that so you guys can check out kind of what the experience is about.
Oh, you didn't show me that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had that.
My bad. Cut. No, I'm just playing. So we'll put that link so you can see what it is.
It's the coolest.
Because it's hard to explain to you, but like it was just.
I've never experienced a dinner that cool.
It was the coolest. Really and then the food was amazing too. So they had this coconut ice cream at the end.
Yeah. So long story short,
Chad
was trying all of the things. He had octopus, he had lobster, he had, you know what I'm saying? Like he was just trying all of the things. So I feel like, when you take the kids out of their environment, it's also a good opportunity for them to do something different than what they would do at home.
Yeah. And so it helps them grow, not only culturally, but also just like within themselves. Because now they're trying new things. They see mom and dad doing, or they see other kids doing. Kids influence kids. So like they see other kids trying something. Like, let me try it.
Yeah.
And so, so I don't know. Hopefully that explains why we're saying that. But I think the next one kind of goes in with quality time. Is kind of where I
you lost it. The promoting relaxation.
Yes, thank you. It was in my head and left. But yeah, promoting relaxation and kind of just an opportunity to de-stress. And in this case, for the kids, get ready for school. Like, Chad is about to be in 6th grade.
Back to school is around the corner.
Next week. And Reagan is, about to start 1st grade.
Yeah.
I mean, so just allowing them to say, to have one last good trip where they can relax, have fun. And
let their guard down, just be kids.
Yeah.
Like Chad Jr. asked us this question at dinner last night. I'm not going to put him on blast, But I feel like us being in a different environment and like, you know, it was very easy. He just kind of like blurted out and we were like, oh, okay, let's go there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it's just really cool. I feel like you get to see a different side of your family when you're traveling and you don't have the everyday stresses of life, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So let's see. Another tip is that it encourages physical activity depending on the type of travelers you are and the things that you do. Like there's, you know, adventures. You can be kayaking, you can be hiking, you can be kayaking. Like yesterday they played beach volleyball.
Yeah, Chad like was hitting around with me, but I finally talked him in to come out there and play with like when they did it. And he came out there and he did great. He served amazing. He scored like 4 or 5 points in a row.
Yeah.
Then I had to tackle him, cover him in the sand. Because like, bro, you're on the other team, man. No, it's fine. No, he did amazing. But he wouldn't have tried that unless we were kind of like, he let his guard down. Right? Unless he was like, you know what, it's because I always tell him, like, you're going to mess up. You're going to make bad shots. You're going to do something wrong sometimes. But that's a part of it. The only way you get better is if you try. So he came down there. He had a great time. And he wants to play again today. So, I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They said they might play basketball. I was like, you don't want to see young Steph.
Now, they were very excited about that because y'all know they love basketball.
Yeah, that's our sport.
Yeah. So, and then like the last one that we had was just cultural appreciation. Yeah. And I think we kind of touched on that. Depending on where you go, you kind of allow the kids to get a sense of where we are. You immerse them in whatever it is. And it makes me think of like when we went overseas for our first time. We literally lived like locals. Y'all know, we were there for like 2.5, 3 weeks. We were very much...
We lived in, we did Airbnbs.
In the middle of Paris. We were in the Airbnbs. We were walking to the market. We were doing all of the things. So, and then also I will say about this resort, like this is probably the first resort that I've been to where I felt like a foreigner, but not in a bad way. Because a lot of times you go to these resorts and it's just a bunch of Americans. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people that you would see.
This is not that.
You went to Idaho.
Yeah.
Okay?
but why Idaho?
I don't know. It's just first state that came out.
Shout out to our Idaho people.
Yeah, we love Idaho. Potatoes are amazing.
But like there's so many people here locally. Like not that they're local, but like Mexican culture. Like we're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's not very many of us here, and I like that.
It's cool because I met a gentleman, like, we were playing volleyball, and his teenage son was playing with us, and then the dad came over and started watching. He offered me a beer, and then was like, we just started chopping it up. Apparently, his son had been born in Tennessee. Like, they're from, like, they happened to move there for a job. He was born there, they moved back. And so it was just cool because he was like, well, yeah, this place here, you go here, this, culture over here is
all
great.
Of the tips.
All the tips about the area or other places, and so it's cool because you don't necessarily get that when you go to a traditional resort where you're not going to go and be able to experience, the culture. Whereas, like I mentioned earlier, you can walk off onto the beach here, and that's a public beach. Like you're literally just in.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think like it's later today, we're actually going to go off property to the Melicon.
It's like a boardwalk type situation.
Yeah, so we'll actually be in the city. Like, I am so excited about that.
Yeah, so check out Gabe Babe TV, the vlog channel.
So you can see it because a lot of times, like when we go to resorts too, sometimes we just stay on property. And we don't usually leave.
Or you never hear the good stuff. You hear the bad stuff about going off resort, right? Don't go off because this, that. We've heard nothing but good things. Like the people at the airport. We got to the resort, good old Bob, and the homie Chris. I mentioned Chris. They was like, we got to go off, check out Melicon because it's safe here. It's like you're gonna go out and you're gonna enjoy it. People are awesome.
You're gonna be a part of the community,
which everybody has been. Yeah. So that's really cool too. I think that's that's one of the uniquities about being here, is that people encourage you to go and check out Puerto Vallarta. Did I say that? Puerto Vallarta. I can't do the roll though.
Well, that's because you've never spoken Spanish before, really. So it's fine. It's fine. We know what you're saying.
Can y'all do the roll when you talk? Because I can't do the roll.
Practice makes perfect.
Okay. Practice makes perfect. Okay.
So something that kind of goes with that. Those were like the tips of why you should get out there. Get out there and travel with your family. But once you're traveling with your family, you got to think about the balance that comes with that, because sometimes you're going to want your own space, your own time to explore. So I think we've done a good job of doing that when we travel, like making sure that we have ample family time, and then we have some kind of alone time if we need to. So we have a couple of tips.
What do you mean by alone time, sweetheart?
Not that alone time, but you know, that too.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's, yeah, and that goes back to like the Explorers Club, like we mentioned, you know, and stuff like that.
So we have quite a bit of like, we're kind of researching and coming up with things, but I feel like we're just going to highlight the things that have worked the best for us in terms of creating balance. So this is one thing that we've done that we have never shied away from, is hiring childcare. If we're in a space where there is no Explorers Club and there is no kids club, like most of the time when you're on a resort, if they don't have a specific place for kids, they have babysitting services. Like if you just ask, they can set up babysitting services for you. Sometimes it's the staff, sometimes it's from outside. Like, absolutely. And I know a lot of people, some people are kind of leery about that.
But it's not like they're gonna, you're not dropping your kid off 12 miles from the resort. Like they're gonna be in their room, in their environment, in the resort, in our experiences, and that we wouldn't do anything other than that.
Yeah, the times that we've had a babysitting service. So like before Reagan was old enough to do like the kids, you know, the kids clubs and things like that. Like they would have babysitting services where it was one of their staff members that came like after the hours and was able to stay in our room. They did activities, and then she put her to bed for us. Like,
and it's really sweet. It's really awesome too, because these are the employees that are already vetted by the resort, and then they you know, this is an opportunity for them to make some extra money, and so they've always been great. But I would say the best thing, what I love about this resort more than any of the other ones, is that the Explorers Club, it's like we didn't have to pick up Reagan till like 10 o'clock last night. Not because we didn't want to, because she didn't want us to.
It was open like the entire day.
Yeah, they did a PJ party, and they watched a movie. And it was in Spanish. So she was like, we were like, was it in English? She's like, no, it was in Spanish. She's like, did you enjoy it? She's like, I loved it.
It was so cool. But like every hour they have a different activity. So, you know, your child doesn't have to stay there all day. Reagan went. She came back and hung out with us, and then she went back. So,
but like, no, there has not been one time we went to any resort where where the resort kids club has been open that late. Usually they close at like 6 or so.
And you pick them up and you go to dinner and you do all those things. But it was nice for it to be open all that time. So we were able to have, you know, one-on-one time with Siege. Honestly, like that was pretty cool.
We said that at dinner too. We was like, you know, this was really awesome to be able to spend this dinner with you. We don't get just one-on-one Siege time, and he's gonna be the first one out the house. You know, like we don't have too much longer, so it was really cool to share that moment with him. And then Reagan came in and got to see the last part. And got some ice cream, which all she cared about.
That's all she ever wanted. So that was cool. And then like today, we're gonna have a couples massage, because that's one of the things that we love, getting couples massages. So they're gonna have their time to be in the Explorers Club, and we're gonna have a couples massage literally on the beach.
On the beach.
I cannot wait. So yeah, like so that's the first thing. In order to get some balance, you're gonna have to set up some time that you can have alone. And even if you're not able to do that, or if you're in a position where you don't trust people with your kids, you don't want to go that route, take turns. If you're traveling with your spouse, your significant other, take turns. You guys don't have to spend all day with the kids all together. Like, you might give your spouse, like Chad might give me a couple hours to go sit at the beach and read a book. Or he may be in the pool with them, and I can lounge. And it's uninterrupted. So it's like, you be your own babysitting service, basically. No, exactly. You know?
Because we've always, look, if you've been following us or watching us for any amount of time, we believe in spending a lot of time together, but also having your own personal time.
Yes.
Like, that's important. Like, so for me, that's usually going, back in the States, it's going to movies or go golf. For her, it's
going to the gym.
Or
whatever.
Same thing when you're on a trip like this. Like, you want to relax, right? Well, we know that going on vacation with your kids isn't necessarily a vacation.
It's like a trip.
It's a trip.
It's a trip.
So when you take that time to have your own opportunity to relax and chill, then it becomes vacation.
You get pockets of vacation.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome.
Built in, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe I get the kids ready and he goes to the gym. Like, so, you know, and then he meets us at breakfast or something like that. So we're always trying to figure out how to give each other a moment.
It's awesome. Well, that's important to us. We're going to continue to do that. We recommend you do the same.
Sorry, I lost my spot here.
Oh, yeah, she's got a spot that she lost. But yeah, again, really quick, just want to remind you.
That was really cool.
Sunscape, Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta.
It's the worst. I can't say that. Resort and spa.
Come.
Yes. So yes, they again.
And when you come, tell them you came because you saw us here and you loved it so much. Like, you got to tell them, like, Gabe Babe TV, they put me on. Gabe and Babe put me on, okay? Yes. So you got to let them know that. If you don't want to
give me any credit, just say Gabe. Okay?
You got to tell them that, all right?
No, but yes. So again, great. That's where we're at. But they brought us out because they wanted us to just come check it out, how amazing this place is. Film the podcast.
In Paradise.
Yes. Which we are definitely in Paradise.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's why we're here. That's what we're doing. And we want you to check it out. There will be links below in the description box so you can check out the resort, learn more about it.
Yeah, and, you might want to spend winter break, fall break.
Apparently it becomes, so the same guy I was talking about earlier apparently told me that New Year's here, Christmas and New Year's here is like jumping.
That's what he was saying. Yeah, he was like,
he's like, this is the place to come.
He's like, a lot of people are here for that.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense because if you live in the Midwest like we do,
you want to come where it's warm.
Yeah.
Like, you want to escape the snow.
You want to escape the snow.
Yeah.
Because like you can't even ski or snowboard.
It's kind of useless snow, but we're not getting into that.
Indiana's flat.
Which is another thing. Flat. Like, we keep going back and forth about what we should do like this year. So yeah, I know we spent that year in Houston, that Christmas in Houston.
Oh, yes.
So we never wanted to spend Christmas elsewhere. But we are thinking like going somewhere in betwing Christmas and New Year's, like spending
New Year's somewhere.
Yeah, like you have your Christmas at home, whatever, and then you go somewhere else and spend New Year's. So we're toying with the idea of that. Look, we could be back here. You never know.
You never know.
Like,
yes, we never know.
You never know.
Maybe we do a meetup. Oh,
that would be fun.
The sensational Sunscape.
So, if you don't hear nothing else when you hear, you're going to hear sensational, okay? Like, I love it.
I love it. There was a gentleman that did like the MCN for it. We did this great fire show.
Yeah.
Was that the Asada night? Was that the name of it?
It was Asada night.
Asada night.
It was.
And there was
like
on
the beach.
On the beach.
Like they had the table set up.
All the different like the pork, chicken, steak,
and all the food was so
sausage.
Good.
And they did like this really cool fire show. But the MC for it, that was the sensational is there like Sunscape, sensational. Get it? Sensational. But the way he says it is like my favorite. So cool. I mean, like literally, I might accidentally say that when we're at home. Like,
it ain't gonna be no accident.
Like, man,
he gonna say it.
This is sensational. They're like, what'd you say? I love it though.
So that's probably our biggest tip for finding balance. And then also setting expectations is a good one. Communicating just what the plan is. Like, there's nothing worse than getting somewhere and like people, emotions are high. People are all over the place because nobody knows what's happening. So we talk to the kids. We tell them what's happening. Like, they know when it's a branded trip, when it's not a branded trip. So they know like, okay, you might have to do a little bit of work, but then we'll have time where we can play. You know, we can kind of go through the social activities and event calendar together and see who wants to do what. So then maybe we can kind of try and like plan it out, do something for Siege, do something for Reagan, find something for us. Like,
so yeah, we they definitely are troopers. Again, they're good travelers, great travelers, which again, that happens when you travel more often with your kids because it becomes normal for them. But our kids are great at that. And yeah, again, they've grown up. Like, both of their lives have been during our careers as you know, whatever you want to say. I hate the word influencer, but as
at this point,
content creators,
influencer, content creator.
So they're used to it. They're normal. Like, hey, mom and dad have to create a reel. We have to create a story. We have to create a podcast. Like, it's normal. That's not a surprise for them.
Yeah. So and then the last tip for this is to leverage technology. Now, we're really lenient on technology. Our kids get a lot of screen time, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not ashamed of it. It is what it is. But if you're a family that doesn't have a lot of screen time, you can really use that to your advantage too. Yeah. Because in the evenings after dinner, say you return back to your room, let the kids have some screen time, and then you and your spouse can do whatever. Y'all can. We can connect. We can watch TV. We can sit out on the balcony. Listen to the waves. So use the screen time to your advantage.
Absolutely.
To entertain the kids for a little bit, just so you can have some uninterrupted time with your spouse.
I'll add that. Like, there's nothing wrong, because we know there's a lot of people that don't agree with screen time.
Yeah.
And again, to each their own. But understand that you can control what they watch.
Yeah,
like, you take the time to set boundaries on what they can and can't watch within the app that they're watching it on. And then understand that our kid, I mean, Reagan, she learns dances and then teaches Gabrielle. and then they shoot that part. They put up a video, like a TikTok here that Reagan taught mom.
Not here, our last trip.
Oh yeah, our last trip. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, but we did film. Gabrielle and I did one yesterday.
Check that out.
At Gabe Flowers.
Yeah.
At C-Raider 12.
Yeah.
Instagram. But yeah, no. So it's just awesome to see that there are opportunities for them to learn on their tablets, on their be able to watch stuff as long as you monitor it. Yes, there are bad stuff out there, but there's bad stuff everywhere. As parents, we can help control some of that.
Absolutely. So we're gonna get into the second and kind of like the last question that we had about travel with all of the all the questions you guys sent in. So we kind of wanted to close out with this one because she asked for travel tips.
Okay.
Well, first she asked cruise like the Bahamas versus out of the country travel like Europe. And then she said, if those were your 2 trip options, which one would you choose and why? But then she asked, share like 5 trip saving hacks. So we have some trip saving hacks, but which would you prefer? Would you prefer to be on a cruise in the Caribbean or travel abroad like we did in Europe? That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. It's 2 different types of trips.
Yeah.
In the Caribbean, like, I think you're just there. You're going to enjoy the boat. You might get off.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. Whereas the abroad trip, you're going to see things.
Like, you're going to be doing a lot of exploring, a lot of walking. Like, that's one thing. When we went to Paris, like, we were out in them streets all day.
Or the Italy trip.
Or the Italy trip. Like, we were out there, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
I had to fight a lion in the Coliseum.
Honey, getting all of the steps, all of the things. But we were seeing lots of things. It wasn't necessarily a relaxing type of a vacation. It was more of like let's get out and go to the Louvre.
It was like
let's go see the Eiffel Tower.
What's that word? Like a
bucket list. It was.
Check off,
so you want to see all of the things,
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when you do a cruise or a resort, you really just want to relax. Like, you may do some excursions, but for the most part, you're just going to be relaxing.
You're coming to relax, eat good, drink good if you drink.
Yeah, that's it.
And just have a good time.
Yeah, so I think that both serve their purpose. It really just depends on what you're going for.
Yeah.
I think we typically lean towards the relaxing type of vacation. But we want to do, as the kids get older, we want to do more.
That's when we'll do more
of the, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like,
you need some water, Shawnee?
I drank some water. Let me try yours, though. Maybe yours is better. Nope, same.
More type of, what am I trying to say? Like learning experience types of things,
so more,
as they get older.
Opportunities where we can, like we didn't take them to the Coliseum. They had no cares in the world.
They didn't want to see that.
Like,
yeah.
Unless Gerard Butler was going to be there in the Gladiator, like they didn't care.
Yeah, they didn't care. So I think as they get older, they'll want to see those things.
Yeah. And even Chad, like, he's starting to say, like, he wants a jet ski. He wants to be on a boat more. Like, so he's starting to find things that he likes to do.
Yeah.
And so he likes music. They like museums. They like stuff like that. So I think that.
Oh, look at you! You sweating too, Shawty.
Okay. Am I glistening, y'all?
Water glistening all over your body.
Okay.
Where that come from? Y'all know where that's from? Do you know where that's from?
Do it again.
Water glistening all over your body.
Do they have to say it like that?
That's exactly how he said it. That should give you that should be your clue.
One more time.
I'm not doing it again.
I have no clue. I just want to see if she can do it again.
You really don't know where that's from?
Water glistening all over your ball.
The Martin stand up. Water glistening all over your body.
That's right.
That was a random tangent, but y'all know how I am. Anyway.
Yeah.
So let's get to these tips, because I'm not going to last out here much longer because it's hot, okay? And I'm sweating.
Yeah, it's hot.
So, okay. First tip, travel off season. So like off-peak times are the best times to go because you're going to get cheaper flights. The stay is going to be cheaper. It's not going to be as crowded.
Exactly.
And this is something you can easily find with like just a search, like a Google search.
Like, what's
when we're talking about going somewhere, I typically will type in like, when's the best time to visit this place and when's the worst time to visit this place. Or you can search like, what's the off-peak season for said location because you can get there and you can do so many things. Like, we went to Orlando in January, and we went to that one place.
We went to that one place, did not be named.
And it was perfect because everybody and their mama were not there.
Yeah.
And we weren't sweating.
The locals with local passes didn't seem like they were there.
Yeah,
Travelers weren't there. It was just like...
It was perfect.
Perfect time to go.
The weather was great. The lines weren't long. Like, so, you know, look into that. Off-peak.
Absolutely.
It's worth it, for sure. Let's see, what else? Rewards and discounts. So we talked about this before when we did our tour in, you know, Paris and Italy. Like, we had saved up money for that. So, like, we had a specific travel fund for that. But, like, when we go back, we've been saving up our points. So all of our airline miles, our credit card miles, we've been saving them up so that we can use those to basically pay for that
between
next
all four
trip.
of us, we've got over 1 million flyer miles.
Yeah, so we're like, we shouldn't have to pay to get over there.
Exactly, because the kids got status.
Yes. So we're really excited about
traveling.
that. So utilize those things. Get a credit card that gives you like points that you can use for travel. Sometimes you get the type of credit card where they will give you like 3, 4, 5 times points when you book with a certain airline, or if you know what I'm saying? So utilize those things. If you have a cash back credit card, you can take that cash and put it to the side and make it your travel cash. Like all the cash back you get, we've talked about that, where we have our travel fund. So, you know, every time we spend on our debit card, it rounds up and it puts it in an account for us.
So create, like if you have those things, features, create what is the goal with that feature?
Right.
And so, like if we save them for vacation, or saving for this, whatever. But vacation is a great one.
And then sign up with that, sign up for loyalty points. So we have specific airline that we love to travel with because we know that we like to accumulate all of our points with that airline. So same with hotels. You have a specific hotel you love, you stay there. The more you stay there, you get points so that you can use those.
And same, like to go along with that, we're not condoning getting a credit card, but if that's something that your family or
use it responsibly.
Use it responsible.
Yes, responsibly.
Thank you. But if you get one that's tied to the airline, which we do, then every time you spend, you do get miles and you get benefits from that. So again, you don't have to. I'm just saying that's something that if you choose to, it's great feature.
Another tip is to book a place with a kitchen. That is a huge savings tip if you're a person who doesn't want to eat out a ton and you don't want to spend a lot of money eating out.
That's where the money comes in.
I feel like that is the biggest expense when you travel, obviously getting there. But then once you're there, like eating, if you're not in like an all-inclusive situation and things are like a la carte, you're going to spend so much money eating that it's ridiculous. So if you had a place with a kitchen where you could go grocery shop, you could bring your food back, even if you had like breakfast. Say, we're going to just eat breakfast at the spot. And then we'll go out and we'll eat for lunch. We'll go out and we'll eat for dinner. That's saving money. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to eat lunch at the spot. Maybe you go out and you enjoy having breakfast at new places. Or you have dinner new places, but lunch is always going to be back where you're staying.
Let's keep it real. Inflation ain't no joke.
Yeah,
like, it
gets expensive.
One breakfast is not $50 anymore. Now it's $100. So like if you're looking for
family of 4.
So if you're looking for ways to just cut some costs, here's our thought: is that we want to spend money on the experiences that we can have at the destination.
Yes.
So food is an experience too. So don't get me wrong, we're not going to skimp on a good
but everything doesn't have to be an experience. You're gonna get eggs and bacon and whatever everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like cut corners where you can.
Absolutely. That's a great tip though.
Yeah. Do you want to do the next one?
Yeah. What's the last one?
It's not the. Oh, you don't have your.
Did you put on that? Sorry.
Take advantage of free activities was the next one.
Yes, take advantage of free activities. So there's going to be a ton of activities. Whether if you're at a resort like this, they have like the crew here is awesome. Like every like 30 minutes or hour, they've got different things you do. Like for instance, volleyball. They've got pool, like aerobics and stuff. They've got games and bingo. They got karaoke night last night. I was gonna sing, but I had a little hoarse in my voice.
Thank goodness you didn't.
I was gonna get down there, win the coveted prize of the best singer at the resort. But whatever. But no, like just taking advantage of and a lot of times they'll have activities that you can do, even water sports that might even be included.
Right. Sometimes they're included. Sometimes you have to pay like a little bit extra.
A little bit, yeah, but it's worth it though. Like the kayaking, this bay here. So this is in like the bay area.
Yeah.
And it is so calm. We were out on the water. Like Reagan,
it was so peaceful.
Reagan could have done the paddleboard.
Yeah.
Or
it was
the oar. Is it an oar? Yeah, oar on the kayak by herself because it was so calm and just beautiful. Like just peaceful. Whereas some other places might not be that same way, but here I can speak to how great that was.
Right. So even if you're not in like a tropical place or whatever, like you're just going to a random city, museums sometimes are free. There's community activities happening. Like look up what's happening in the area. Like there's so many things you can do for free. You don't have to pay for everything. Like take advantage of the things that you can do.
And for instance, if you have a membership at a gym or something and you go to a new city, go to the gym in that city.
Yep.
Like
we've done that before.
We've done that before. Look for ways to just kind of like immerse yourself in the city as much as possible.
Okay, now my iPad has gotten too hot, so I can't get that last tip.
Yeah, well, so you've got 4 or 5 there.
It's one more.
Oh, is there one more? Let me see it. All right, here we go. I'm going to get up. Here we go. Last one. Where'd you put it at right here?
It's at the bottom.
Okay. Oh, here we go. 5 tips.
See it?
Yeah, last one is going to be plan and budget ahead.
Yes.
That's a big one, guys, because
travel is expensive. Let's be real.
And it's not something you just do.
It can get so pricey. And I want everybody to, I want to encourage you to think about it as in, it's not unattainable. Everybody can travel.
And everybody should travel.
And everybody should travel. And maybe it takes a year of planning to take that big trip. Maybe you can't just plan it in a couple months and go. And that's fine. We can't do that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's don't be afraid to plan it out.
Next year,
space it out over a few months. Put a down payment down and then pay on it every month until you pay it off. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't have to be put on a credit card where you maxing out credit cards to get where you need to go.
No,
obviously that's not a great idea because you end up paying more for it in the end. But it's if you can just put a little bit aside every month to a travel fund or make a down payment and just put a down payment in or just make payments every month. You can make it more affordable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know?
No, and also too, when you do that, you go on your vacation and you've worked for it, you've earned it.
Yeah, you don't have the stress of how am I going to pay this off when I get back.
Now I got to pay off the bills when I get back.
Yeah.
Now you can go on the vacation, come back, and just get back into normal life again. Yep. So very, very, it makes sense to plan and budget for anything, but especially a trip so that you can make sure you maximize the time and your money and have an amazing time.
Yeah, and whatever you budget for, just add 5 or 10% to that because it's going to be more.
It's going to be more. And that's okay. Just, again, add it
so
in
put
there.
a little buffer in there. Yeah. So we hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast. We can talk about travel all day long because we absolutely love to do it.
Yes.
And we hope that you enjoyed our first podcast in paradise.
Exactly. Hopefully not the last.
Hopefully not the last. Shout out to Sunscape Puerto Vallarta Resort and Spa for just hosting us. They have been taking such good care of us. They are so sweet.
Every single team member has been amazing.
They've been amazing, and they've been so friendly, and you can tell that it's not manufactured. The hospitality is there. You know what I'm saying? So whether we were here working with them or I feel like whether we were just here on our own, we would get the same service.
No, 100%.
Because everybody is so sweet.
They're awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome. So put this on your bucket list to come check out.
Please.
For sure. And tell us about it once you come because we want to hear about it. And make sure you tell them you found it through us.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
But definitely check the resort out. Again, like I said, I can't. We will. Maybe we'll leave a comment or maybe we'll check out our stories after this about when we go into the city. Can't wait to find, see the city.
We're gonna have a bunch of content on GABE BABE TV and on our Instagram,
so be on the lookout
from
for
this
that.
trip, so you can see it.
And again, there'll be links about this resort in the description box. We want you to check it out.
Yeah, special thanks to them.
Thanks to them. They're awesome. And I think that's the end of the podcast, y'all. This has been awesome.
This has been great. Let us know where else should we go on location? Because I'm here for this. I love this.
We're trying to get let's get all the sunscapes. What y'all think? What y'all think?
Let's
but
do
we
it,
definitely
okay?
gotta come back here. This one's just been special.
So if you've enjoyed this podcast, if you are watching us, we'd love it if you would comment down below. If you have any more questions about travel, you can always leave those as well. If you happen to be listening to us, we'd love it if you would rate and review this podcast, because that just helps us get more listeners to join the family.
That's right. So
yeah,
we appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye, guys.
Deuces.